and welcome back to the Stahls UK YouTube channel. Today's Artworking for Heat Transfers episode is the one that you've all been waiting for. Dane is going to show you how you can remove soft-edged artwork from a black background. Dane's got you covered for this one, so let's jump straight in.
All right, now let's take a look at how do you remove artwork that's flattened on a white background but has lots of soft edges. That's a much more difficult task than the one we just looked at, but it's still pretty easy if you follow along these processes. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so this image, as you can see, it's a white background. Looking at my layers over here, you can tell that it's got a lock. And look at all the soft subtleties going on around the outside edge. This stuff's going to make a good shirt because it mixes and blends in and out of the shirt, so it makes a good transfer or direct screen or DTG or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Let's go ahead and try the first step that I showed you last time. So let's go get my magic wand tool and we'll click here. There we go, magic wand. Click on the white background. Now I'm going to go ahead and select menu, inverse that selection, and remember Command J or Control J will allow us to put it on its own layer. If I remove it off of a white background, let's go ahead and take a look at it on the with a black background underneath it. And look at that. That's horrible, right? So there is no indication of a soft transfer at all. It looks like you took a scissors and, I don't know, had something chew around the edges of it. It looks terrible. So not the way to go. I will show you how to do it the right way anyways. Let's do that now. I'll throw away these two. All right, back to this my normal scenario here. If we take a look, I have a PNG file. That is an RGB file. So if I go to my channels, I have my red channel, my green channel, and my blue channel. And when you turn them all on, it looks like that. Now, here's the deal. This stuff here, this is the color data that's in my file, right? Every one of these pixels combined together gives me my full color image. But it also, we're going to use that to grab the pixels on the artwork. So what I'll tell you to do is this. This is, again, my workflow. So I'm going to grab my blue channel and I'm going to create a new channel. Right? It says blue copy. I'll double click it and I'm going to name it mask. Not ask. How about an M in there, Dane? All right, here we go. So now so that has all the blue data from my blue channel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the data from my green and apply it into there, and I'm going to apply my red data into that same channel. So let's do it. With this mask channel selected, if I go to image and I come down to apply image, right, I get this. So what I want to do is I want to grab my green channel because I have my blue data here. Now I'm going to add my green and then I'm going to add my red. So here's my green. I hit OK. And I'll do the same thing. Image, apply image, and I'm going to apply my red. There we go. So as you can see, everything got darker because we're taking all the color data in our file and we're putting it on one channel. Now here's the deal. I'm going to show you something that's not quite right because this is a normal place where some people that are trying it for the first couple of times or trying to do it really fast, because sometimes it happens to me, and it's sort of like they think they're there, and they're not quite there. So watch what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to go to my RGB channel, go to my layers, you can see. So if I go to the select menu and I load selection, right, and I have I'm using my Cintiq, by the way. I got to keep moving this over. So I got my mask here is the channel I want to use, and I'm going to hit OK. So there's my marching ants, right? So when we get those marching ants, we're going to hit Command or Control J. On your PC, I'll do like this, and I'm going to click. Remember, we moved it from a white background. Let's go ahead and put a black background underneath it. And look what happens. A couple things you can see here. I do have a soft transition now, though. All my edges are nice and soft and faded, so it would fade into the shirt, but there is literally no white in my image. None. And I know by looking at the original, there should be white all in his bellies, the gills. There's lots of highlights going on in here, right? Well, the reason there's no white in there is because the computer, I'm going to throw these away while we're talking here, the computer doesn't see white as a color. It sees white as a lack of color. Remember, this channel has all the color data that's in my image on it in black. But notice there's nothing here covering the white. So the white is no color. It's all the pixels on. So what we need to do is we need to, in this channel, we need to, if here's my artwork, we need to cover all the artwork with solid black, including the white pixels, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to colorize inside this fish, inside that little fish. I'm going to leave all the gray stuff, the transitional areas that I want to blend in and go away. We're going to leave that as is. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit the B key to get my brush tool. And right now I have a hard edge brush. I'm good with that. I'm on my mask channel. And if I zoom in a little bit, I can go ahead and start painting it in, right, like this, which is the way I like to do things. You can also hit the L key on your keyboard and grab your lasso tool like this, and I can go around most of the image, right? Get kind of close to the edges, and I can Option Delete or Alt Backspace will fill that selection with the foreground color, as you can see here. So I'm going to just kind of go around this and kind of mostly get my image inside my fish. Now you see I kind of went outside here, but I'm okay because it's inside the body of the fish, so that works. I'll fill it, Command and Control, Option Delete or Alt Backspace, sorry. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, take a look. So now I just need to really hit my B key to get my brush tool and kind of go around the inside of the fish's body itself and sort of get all the stuff that we're seeing in here. So as you can see, there's some like gray going on in there, right? And I just want to make sure I get it all covered with solid black. This is what's going to capture all the pixels of the art. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. All right, let's see. Left bracket key when I'm using my brush tool makes my brush smaller. Right bracket key makes it bigger. Again, all this stuff beyond him right here is background information. I want that stuff soft because I want it to be believable and transitional. So I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. I can get a soft edge brush if I wanted to and paint it there. But I think you'll get the idea here. You can see this NT because I'm painting on the glass on this Wacom tablet here, which is a really awesome tool. It allows me to simulate as close as possible to actually drawing on a drawing board or a pad or something. I'm going to zoom in. Let's get this little fish because he's got a lot of white in him and we want to capture it correctly so he gets solid black. Now if I hit my R key on my keyboard, Photoshop can allow me to rotate my screen. It's kind of like when you move your sketching board or your drawing board around to get a more natural pull on your hand here. So that comes in handy quite a bit, and I use it quite a bit also. Alright, about done now. Just got to get the rest of this guy here. Rotate it some more, but I got to hit my R while I'm doing it. Or I can use the puck that I have on my Wacom tablet. There's a shortcut to do that same thing, and that's how I use it mostly. But there is the R key. Now, what I'm going to do, I think we're good enough. So I'm going to hit my escape key, and that's going to take us out of the rotation Command 0 will make it fit to screen again, right? So we can see everything. Now, if you notice, everything in the little guy here and this big fish is solid black. What that means, when we copy this artwork and put it on its own layer, it's going to grab all the color data because that was in our channel to begin with. And then we covered up all the white stuff that we want to keep in our file, and it's going to pull white pixels as well. So let's do the same thing we did a second ago. I'm going to go to RGB. I'll go to Select Menu, Load Selection. All right, there's my mask. I hit OK. There's my marching ants. Go to Layers. You can see it here. Command J or Control J. Turn off the eyeball behind it. Now you can see my transparent pixels, and you can see the soft faded edge all the way through, and we have some white, but let's go ahead and remember, always look at it on a black background. There we go. So we're almost finished. I can see white pixels now. I can see soft faded transitional areas, right? But I'm going to select my layer. We're almost got one more thing to do. With the artwork layer selected, now if I go to my layer menu, come down to matting, and I remove the white matte, watch the edges around my image here. Watch what happens. It gets rid of all the white fluff, the anti-aliasing pixels that are all around from the transparent pixels, and now we have the artwork pixel for pixel on its own transparent layer. You can see there, and we're ready to go. Now, even though I'm showing you how to remove stuff from soft edges from the backgrounds, the reason I'm doing that mainly is because, one, you may need it, right? If you generate any kind of artwork using the AI artwork generators, that a lot of times, well, right now, they're all flattened, some sort. That's why if you isolate it on a white background when you do your prompting, you can use this step to get it off if it has any soft edges. So you're going to be using it quite a bit if you're doing any of that sort of thing. And anytime you have any soft edges, you got to learn how to do it. But DTF transfers don't really lend themselves well to soft faded edges. So in order to do those kinds of things, you might want to work with halftones. And I'll show you some of that in another video. So stick around. There's still a lot more to learn. Thanks for hanging out.
Again, more fantastic tips and tricks from Dane there. He's going to turn you all into heat transfer artworking pros in no time. If you're ready to place your custom heat transfer order, then head online to stahls.co.uk, where you can order the world's #1 custom heat transfers with the UK's quickest turnaround time. And of course, while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you're ready for the next Artworking for Heat Transfers episode that's coming to your screens in just 2 weeks' time.